Alright guys, so today was a pretty wild day in the market, so I want to go through and I'm going to walk through candle by candle and show you the price action that happened today, and I'm going to discuss the trades that I took, some of the setups that happened, as well as the signals and tools in the SMT algorithm that helped me make some good profits today. So I made about 6% on my Webull main account, 5% on my Robinhood, 127% using, holding puts a little bit longer and swinging some J&J and ABBV calls on my small Webull margin account. And then on my futures account, I got $660. That was by playing NQ, but I did also make $75 playing ES. So all that was good profit. I didn't have to hold for very long, and I'm going to show you how I did that. And yeah, so I'll walk you through all the setups. So I'm on the 5-minute chart, I'm on SPY, and right here I just have a couple scripts loaded. So I have my all-in-one SMT indicator, I have my SPY key levels, which are these blue lines, and then I also have my SMT dashboard so I can see different time frames. So I'm going to start the bell here at 9:30, and then I'll go through every single candle. So I didn't actually trade anything in the morning. I was actually at work, but regardless, we didn't really have anything worth trading. You can see we're just consolidating in the open range, or the opening range. We do get a 5-minute sell signal here, and then we push to the next key level, so that's a good signal. We see the PR, we get a tiny little bounce, but we don't actually get anything there. And so here, now what I want to make a note of is we did get the 5-minute sell signal, and we actually did hit our target right away. But the nice thing is we also formed a bear flag, and let me try to draw this better. There we go. And we closed underneath the bear flag, so I would expect us to again go back and retest that key level, especially because we do have this 5-minute sell signal plus the continuation. And you can see on the next candle, so that actually closed on a 10-minute sell, and then we have a big dump on this next candle. And then we have this tweezer bottom here, and we pull back. And here's where I entered my trade. So it's my second trade of the day. You can see that we reject this regression line here inside the EMAs. We also reject the EMAs themselves, and we are struggling to really make a push or have any kind of breakout. And you'll notice that increase on volume on the dump and then decrease on the pullback. And then we have a slight rise in volume, but the important thing is, this is one of my favorite trades to take, is we have these sell signals giving us selling pressure, we pull back into the EMA clouds, we fail to break out, and then we have an engulfing candle to the downside that closes below the EMAs as well as a key level, or it could be a zone, anything like that. And then I entered here. Now my target, you can see that we have the daily low is marked here, but I'll mark it again. So daily low is my target, so I enter here. I'm just looking for a push down there, and then I can use the key level or the EMAs as my stop, but I don't need to because the next candle dumps not just to my level but all the way down to the next key level. So that was a great short. So that was a great opportunity there, and you can see there's a few opportunities, right? There's this one right here off the 5-minute sell, there's the 10-minute sell you can take, and then there's a pullback, which can give you the pullbacks have less risk and more reward, because when we enter on the pullback close to resistance, we can just use that resistance as our stop, and it's right above us. So anyway, let's continue. You see that we bear flag here, right? Bear flag, continuation, and then we also pull back and reject this support level. And I'm going to go ahead and actually mark this candle as a level as well. Alright, and you can see that we bounce off of this area right here, and this auto support region, this auto support level holds, and we get this kind of morning star reversal pattern where we have a bearish candle, doji, and then bullish engulfing candle, and then we have a push all the way up into the EMA clouds, and then again we get my favorite setup, and I take it a second time. So the setup is very similar to the prior one. Push to the downside, pull back into the EMA clouds, and now we have this evening star pattern, and we close below the support level we had drawn, so we enter here looking to scalp again to this key level, and then boom, right on the next candle we hit our target. So it's really nice when we have momentum to one side because we can just capitalize on these pullbacks. I mean, look, dump, pullback, rejection, dump, pullback, rejection. right? And then so we can just keep playing these, and that was my second trade of the day. You can see we're consolidating along the key level and the auto support right there. See, now here, the difference here is I'm not trying to go short. Why? Because look, we pulled into the EMA clouds, we failed to break out, pulled, failed to break out, but now we actually close above the EMA clouds, and we're getting a little bit of, we got a volume increase here, right? We have some good volume, so I'm not going to try to short this. Right now, I'm not doing anything, I'm just watching, right? Now, it wouldn't be surprising for this to continue up to this key level, right? Because we did this little breakout here, but again, we also have, you know, we have to watch that the downside, the momentum is still to the downside, so all these candles, while these are green candles because, you know, they have that green border, I just have them, you know, trend-based coloring, so this is all a strong downtrend. So here we go, we push up, we're consolidating a little bit, we pull back to the EMA cloud, we find some support here, and then we continue pushing higher. So now we get our 5-minute buy. Now, 5-minute buy off of, you know, a strong downtrend like this, it's still possible to play, but, you know, I always look to, like, what's the next overhead level? Well, right away we have this resistance here, and then this resistance here. So really my max target that I would want to hit is this level right here. That's as far as I'd go, but, you know, it's a bit risky, but we did close above VWAP. We do have some good bullish indication. So you can see, you can hop in there, and we actually hit that resistance almost to the cent there. And, you know, where does that stem from? Well, we just look back here. Where did we have any kind of support resistance? Well, right here, this candle twice, right? We wicked up here and we failed to break out and close above, and then we dumped, so that is a nice resistance level, and we found some selling pressure there again. So a nice little scalp there off that buy signal. We consolidate and we actually push even higher than this level, so you had ample opportunity to get a scalp there and get out with profits. We pull back, and then we get a dump. So now the cool thing is, it didn't have the same technicals here, but on QQQ there was actually a PR symbol right here on this candle, so that told us there's a potential reversal coming, and that is why I got $600 on NQ, is because I was looking at QQQ, I got that 5-minute reversal, I hopped in because of this bear flag, and then that, you know, that increase in selling volume that came out of nowhere, and then boom, we dumped and I took my profits. Now try to look at where we bounced, right? We didn't just arbitrarily bounce here. If we look, this is a triple confluence support area. So we have our key level, the auto support, and the 200 EMA all sitting in this region. So we dumped here, gave us some buying pressure, and we pulled back. Now this is still really bearish, right? It's not like this is a bullish candle. It's still a bearish engulfing candle, but we did have a you know, significant wick here. So I'm watching to see what happens. So we pull back and we fail to break through this resistance that we had drawn prior. So this is kind of indicating that we might form a bear flag here, and we do. So bear flag dumps all the way down to previous day supply. Now you can see we close right under yesterday's low of day and this demand zone right here. So I would expect if you want to hop on this 5-minute signal, you can scalp down to the next zone. But you know, these scalps, we typically scalp in any day. But on these trend days, you might hop in for a scalp and you get a lot more, like this, right? So you're just looking for, you know, one little scalp to the downside, but you get a big candle that takes all the way down, and you get some extra profit. So days like this are where I'm able to, you know, I'm looking for 10 to 20%. I might get 30% on my contracts because, you know, I hop in, but, you know, the candle dumps and I get more than I asked for, which is awesome. So we have this 5-minute sell, we get another sell signal here, and we continue to dump all the way down to this level right here, which is actually a key level. You can see it's blue. So from these sell signals all the way dumping straight down to this key level on heavy volume. I mean, look at this volume rise. We were doing this kind of volume, and then boom. And something really important to note, right, is when you have this huge dump and then the pullback, look at the drop in volume, right, on this pullback. So when you saw this green candle right here, and the volume that was on there, less than half, it's really weak, a really weak buying candle. So it's, you know, usually indicative of potential consolidation, and then, you know, a bear flag formation and then dump. But anyway, there is our key level. So if I were swinging, so the reason I got 127% on my my small account is because I just held this through, right? Because on my main account I just scalp, but on my small account I like to hold a little bit longer. I swing things. So I saw this here. I didn't get a reason to sell. We never closed back above the supply zone. We never closed in the EMA clouds. We just kept dumping and dumping. Now I did sell here at the key level, just because key levels typically respond as a strong support or resistance. And what do you know? Huge reversal candle off of here. Now it doesn't mean that the trend is changing, but, you know, this candle did essentially encompassed the 2 prior bearish candles, so would have taken some profits out there. So I did sell there. You can see we pull back, we consolidate for a bit, have a little consolidation pattern here, right? We can, draw this. You can say this is almost like a little bear flag here, close below, and we're still above the key level, but if we crack below that key level, then, I see us just making a push straight down to pre-market low, and we do, and some more, and I mean, we just keep dumping. So we got our sell signals early, and the momentum kept through. You can see our EMA cloud is the spacing is pretty consistent. It's pretty large spacing. So yeah, it's just a consistent downtrend, and now we're just looking for, like here, this is a nice bear flag, right? So now we're looking for another potential opportunity. We pull back, reject this double supply zone, which means there was a strong resistance area we rejected, so you can expect a push down to the next zone. And what do we get? Push down to the next zone, and even more. Continuation here. Now, once we get into the previous day demand, this is where I really expect to see a stronger bounce. So these were tiny little bounces, right? But then when we get to yesterday's low, we expect a little bit more buying pressure to come in. So we do get this tiny little bounce here, but even then, so we did get a PR signal. Now, normally, this is actually a pretty decent signal because we hit the prior day demand zone, right? And then we pull up, reject, but then we have this little hammer candle that sits right on top of yesterday's high. It's actually, it closes above yesterday's high, so it wouldn't be, unexpected to see us try and retest that same zone. But man, the selling pressure was just crazy today, right? And the volume just kept going up here, and so we just continued dumping. So we do actually pull back, and you can see we did have a little bear flag here. It rejected at this key level, and we dumped all the way down to essentially where this demand zone was right here, and then we had a strong reversal, and here we have a nice PR. That's a potential reversal candle, right? And then right after that we have a big bullish engulfing candle after that PR signal, which goes into the EMA clouds. You don't want to continue holding once we get into the EMA clouds because we could face some resistance, and look at that, we do. So this is the 3rd time this setup has shown up. So again, I'm going to go through what this setup is. So we have strong push to the downside, we get a nice bounce into the EMA clouds, fail to break out, and then we have a bearish engulfing candle that closes below a key level. And now what do we expect? We expect to make a push down to the next support level, and our stop can be the key level or even the overhead zone. Boom, we hit our target. And we get this PR signal, so that helps us with conviction to get that last little push down, and even more. So that was a great entry for a 3rd time. So I took 4 trades today. It was great. Low risk. Took them to my next target and got out. And then, yeah, that's the end of the day. So hopefully this helps you guys out and then kind of shows you how I use my algorithm and my TA and things like that to trade. So 4 out of 4 today. So really happy with it. And hoping to end off the week strong tomorrow. Thanks, guys.